Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, Derek got a fun and exciting video for you guys today, and no, you're not experiencing deja vu. That is because I am playing Earthbound Beginnings, an entire remake of the original Mother game from Japan on Famicom, made into the Super Nintendo Earthbound ROM. So basically, this is an entire remake and reimagining of the original Mother game that we never actually saw released in the US. And if you're thinking again, deja vu, that's because last week I talked about Mother Encore through Act 2, a 25% remake of the original Mother as a modern game. And honestly, it's wild that these two projects came out basically within a week of themselves, but there is big Earthbound energy in 2026, we're here to talk about it. And honestly, it's really fun to have these two projects kind of standing side by side, because while they are trying to achieve the exact same thing, the way they're doing it is completely different. They are two totally different vibes, and you kind of get to pick and choose which one you'd want to play. But honestly, you may as well experience both, because both teams are working diligently at making this happen. And honestly, the Super Nintendo vibe here is impeccable, and I really do love how it works. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. Now, just like my Mother Encore video, I'm only showing you guys the beginning of the game, because if you've never actually played the original Mother or Earthbound Beginnings, I don't really want to spoil anything in the actual story, because if you've ever played Earthbound, you know these stories get absolutely weird and wild in all of the best and most wacky ways possible, so ruining any of that for you, if you never had the experience before, would just be a bummer in my opinion. So basically what Earthbound Beginnings is, it is a Super Nintendo ROM hack of Earthbound, bringing in the entirety of the first Mother experience. Of course it's in English because that game has been translated for a long time, but now it's going to have a full Super Nintendo graphical aesthetic to it, which is really fun and honestly kind of feels like this game could have just come out back on the Super Nintendo as a remake of the original Mother from Nintendo, and it would have been totally cool just to play that. And honestly, that's kind of the highest praise I can give ROM hacks like this. If it feels like something that truly would have existed back in the day on store shelves sold by Nintendo, then you know it's doing an incredible job. And honestly, the colorways here, how it's been improved from the NES version to the Super Nintendo, just absolutely feels exactly like you're playing Earthbound, except you have a completely different roster of characters and a completely different story. And honestly, if you've never played any of these games before and you have some spare time this year, I would play absolutely all three of them. Play Mother, either Earthbound Beginnings or the original, because Mother Encore just isn't finished yet. Then go straight into Earthbound and then play the Mother 3 English translation to get the entirety of what the story is and the experience. And honestly, because Earthbound 64 never actually existed, it's kind of the best we have right now. But as far as this ROM hack is concerned, it is absolutely impeccably done, from the colorways to the logic to the actual translation being incorporated in and everything else. This thing is just head and shoulders maybe the coolest thing I've seen on the ROM hack front in 2026. And trust me, this is not a small project. Bringing over the entirety of a game and converting it into a Super Nintendo game, that is not something that just takes a couple hours. Now, I don't know how many hours are spent on this thing, but I would assume we're probably in the 4-digit hour count, not the 3-digit, just with how much actually exists in Mother. And everything has to be tested, gone through, make sure it works before release. And if you've ever played any sort of JRPG, you know there's so many different components, so many different conversations, characters and areas to go to, dungeons to explore, and items to collect in the world, and every single one of them needs to work if this thing is going to be successful. And in my time playing around with this in the background, I've had absolutely no issues with it whatsoever, and big thanks to Kilter Music for helping me with the capture over the weekend on this one as well. Zero issues in any of the capture, graphics, audio, or otherwise. It really does just feel like a lost prototype of an actual Mother remake for North America that somebody found in a dev kit box somewhere and decided to upload online. And that really is something to be said, when you can't tell that it was made by fan developers, when it really does feel just like something that you never knew existed and just discovered. And that is the height of talent when it comes to these sort of things. And honestly, bringing over the Mother characters and all of the different assets and then redoing them on Super Nintendo, the art style here is impeccable. I just absolutely love it. Let's do the first two soundtrack samples because that's incredible as well, and I'll be right back with a lot more. I mean, the entire Mother and Earthbound franchises always had a very interesting and unique soundtrack, and it sounds incredible coming out of the Super Nintendo sound hardware. Because that is the thing, you're not just bringing over the visuals or the story or the gameplay, you're redoing the soundtrack to make it sound both familiar as well as enhanced for the Super Nintendo, and I have no notes as far as that is concerned. And just so you know, the capture you're watching was captured on real Super Nintendo hardware with a flash cart. I also tested this on Mr. FPGA as well as software emulation, and it works perfectly fine every single place. So really, however you want to play Super Nintendo games, you can play Earthbound Beginnings and you'll be totally fine. Although honestly, FPGA original hardware is maybe the most fun vibe here, and I even love the rework of the map of Podunk. This really is a fun kind of vibe, and that really is the thing about Earthbound and Mother. The vibes are very strong and they are very unique, and it is the type of game you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. There really isn't any in between. But honestly, going back to the original Mother or the translation, if you didn't grow up with the NES and you don't have nostalgia for that graphical stylings, you might actually struggle to enjoy the game, even though it is fun to you, just because sometimes going back a console generation that you never grew up with can be a little bit hard. But having something like Mother remade in Super Nintendo is going to open up the game to even more people, and they're going to have a metric crap ton of fun with it. Because if you take it from me, and you trust me as far as my opinions are concerned, if you've never played the original Mother and you like Earthbound or Mother 3, just play this game for me. I can almost guarantee you're going to find something to love about it. And again, what I'm really just blown away with is how seamless of an actual conversion this truly is. All of the formatting on the text, all of the colorways, the audio, the gameplay, the logic, everything else. It's just sheer perfection. I can't point to any single thing that makes me think that there's any sort of problem in this build. Now again, the original Mother is a massive game, so it's going to take a long time for fans to test every single thing in it, but as far as my time with it, it's just basically a 10-10 no notes sort of situation. And honestly, even if it is borrowing some assets from Earthbound on Super Nintendo, it is impeccably done, and I just love seeing the world of Mother redrawn in the 16-bit aesthetic. From the colors to the pixels to the characters to the colorways and everything else you're getting here, it is just such an incredible experience, and I really can't believe the fans just in their spare time decided to remake the entirety of Mother on Super Nintendo. But that is why I keep saying 2026 really is a true new golden era when it comes to retro gaming. From decomps, recomps, and PC ports to emulation to ROM hacks like this, even new hardware coming out like the Neo Geo AS Plus, we're just getting so many incredible things, so much so that you don't even have time to play all of them. But trust me, take it from me, give this some time. It's not going to be a short game, but it is a game that you can kind of come back to every couple days, get an hour or two in, and then just move on with your life. And honestly, I just love projects like this because it shows how dedicated fans of franchises are to bringing that fun to more people, because this is truly a love letter not just to the original Mother, but to Earthbound as well, and that 16-bit aesthetic it had. But one more soundtrack sample, because again, the music is so unique and it sounds great coming from the Super Nintendo, and I'll be right back with just a bit more. So yeah, an entire remake of the original Mother on the Super Nintendo called Earthbound Beginnings is out now, and it's something that not only can you go and play, because I left the link to the website for you get the patch down below, but it is something you absolutely should play. Even if you've never played Earthbound, you really don't have to jump into this franchise at any specific point in time, but playing the original game kind of gives you an idea what the developers were working on before they actually got to Earthbound, the game that's the most well known on Super Nintendo. And obviously, this franchise has a very spotty track record when it comes to actually releasing in the US, just giving us one of the 3 games. If it wasn't for fans translating these things, bringing them to the masses, and then even recreating them in the Super Nintendo, they would still be games that we can't experience. But now not only can you play Mother on the Super Nintendo, it is probably the best version of the game so far to ever exist. But you leave me a comment down below and you tell me if you ever played the original Mother NES version translated, or are you going to start here? I would be curious. But short of that, we're done. This one's an 11 out of 10, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.